This episode of the Lifted to Life by Dana B podcast is brought to you by Neurogum. Hello, you are listening to the Lifted to Life by Dana B podcast. I am Dana B. I thank you for listening. This podcast is not just about self-care, it's about discovering your authentic self. So I had an episode in mind for this week, but for the past couple days, I have been feeling yucky. And at first, I wasn't going to record the podcast, but then I realized that transparency is the best thing, specifically since we are on this self-care journey and discovering our authentic self. So today's episode is titled, Why Do I Feel Ugly? Yes, I am 52 years old and I am in menopause. And some of the symptoms of menopause, of course, includes hot flashes, night sweats, hormonal weight gain, moodiness, itchiness, crankiness, clumsiness, frozen shoulder, you name it, dry, you know what. It comes with a lot. And I am in that moody slump, that saddened slump where I don't feel great about myself. So last Friday, I went out to lunch with two of my coworkers, and one of them is maybe in her mid to late 40s. I think mid 40s. While the other is 50. And of course, like I said, I am 52. So we were out to lunch on Friday. And let me just first start by saying this, that these two women are so chic, so stylish, just fit after fit, look after look. They serve and give Monday through Friday, every day of the week. And even though Friday is a dress down day in the office, these ladies still bring it. So we were out to lunch on Friday. And of course, me and my one coworker, who she's in perimenopause and I'm in menopause, and we're both, we decided that, well, we were going to eat outside at this restaurant. And so, of course, eating outside in the heat is not really the best thing. Granted, we were in the shade, but we were both hot. And I had left my hand fan in my desk drawer. So I was using the menu to fan. She and I kept swapping the menu out. And of course, the topic of conversation becomes the hormonal weight gain. And I started going down memory lane in my photos of how I used to be slim. And I'm talking even back in 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. We went to Miami for my girlfriend's birthday, and here I am on Miami Beach with a 2-piece bikini on. My stomach still flat. There was no hormonal weight or anything on me. Still having that slimness about me. Later on that year in 2021, one of my friends turned 50, and I'm looking slenderized and slim and trim at his 50th birthday party. I'm doing a photo shoot in the bathroom. I'm showing ladies the pictures of me when I went to the Congressional Black Caucus Gala, and I had on this nice form-fitting black dress. My boobs were sitting up nice and right, slim and trim in that picture. And then showing them a picture of me when I went to the Black Girls Vote ball that they have every year. Had on this beautiful fitted emerald green sequence dress, spaghetti straps. It was fitting me so nicely. And now when I look at myself, I feel ugly. The weight gain has become such a downer for me. Going into my closet and not being able to fit into my size 8 that I could fit in perfectly. And now I'm between a size 10 and 12. Not having anything to wear because nothing fits me anymore. And that's one of the reasons why I've been feeling so ugly. Now, I have been embracing my natural hair. This is the first time in a long time. No, not long time. This is my first time ever seeing my true curl patterns of my type 4 hair. Because when I first went natural, I was at the barbershop every 2 weeks getting a faded and tapered cut, buzz cut. So this is the first time that I have allowed my hair to grow to see its natural curl pattern. Now, I haven't gotten down to the styling of it just yet, which I'm practicing as I go along, watching TikTok trends of putting silk scrunchies in my hair so that my hair can stretch. I can do a good wash and go so my curls can really pop. Now, one of the things I hate is with this summer heat, my curls shrink. Normally my afro is a pretty decent size. I pick it up and fluff it up or pull it up and spray some volumizing spray in there. My afro, or rather I should say Sadie, that's what I call my afro, she be Sadian. But when that humidity hits, it's giving Estoril, Florida from Good Times. But I know that with this natural hair journey, it takes time to figure things out. And it also takes time and work to maneuver and to find out the things that your hair actually loves. Now, the one thing that I can't stand about this type 4 natural hair is the gray. The gray hair. Woo, baby. Now, what I call on the sides of my face, well, what's basically framing the sides of my face, I call these mutton chops. And I know mutton chops are what men grow when they don't have beards. But this patch of gray on both sides of my head, my mutton chops, this is the type 4 gray hair that is hard to curl. That gray hair can be dry. It's wiry. When I tell you with the gray, I have to do cream products and a mousse on them so that they can have a slither of a curl. Whereas the rest of my hair, it just takes mousse. So just trying to maneuver that gray and getting that stubborn curl to curl up in those gray patches. Another thing that has made me feel ugly is my skin has changed with this menopause. Now, I am a skincare fanatic. I worked at Sephora for 7 years and I became an obsessive person when it came to my skincare. When I tell you my skincare, of course, is a part of my self-care, my day regimen and my night regimen, using serums, my retinols to keep the fine lines and wrinkles away, exfoliating twice a week, using a daytime cleanser and a nighttime cleanser, using hyaluronic acid to keep that moisture in, dermaplaning when my skin needs to be, shaving my face when my skin needs to be shaved. I have a personal microdermabrasion machine that I use once, maybe twice a month. But my pores have gotten so huge. My pores have never been this huge before, and they're truly visible. Even when I do my makeup for work, I am using a pore minimizing primer to help smooth my skin. And then after a few hours, my pores are like, hello, I'm the captain now. My skin seems to be oilier than usual. You can actually fry chicken on my face. That's how oily my skin is. So that change in my skin has caused me to feel ugly. And now that I'm 52, I have to take additional medication, especially because I'm in menopause. In the morning, I'm taking my estrogen. I take collagen in the morning, and I take a B12 vitamin in the morning as well. In the evening, I take, and I also do vitamin D once a week as well. Now, in the evening, I do calcium. I have to take a calcium pill. And because of this damn menopause, I can't sleep as well as I would like to. So I take a sleep aid. And on top of that, I take magnesium to help relax my bones and just my inner parts, to relax them. And I take a Tylenol. Because of this damn menopause, I've developed frozen shoulder. Now, I get it. As we get older, we ache, we have cracks, and sometimes when we wake up out of bed, we definitely have to stretch, even though there might be a crack or two as you're stretching. That's that middle age. That's that aging that we're dealing with the cracking and the pain and the having to rub myself down before I go to bed with Tiger Balm. Why do I feel ugly? And these are the reasons why I feel ugly. Now, this is an everyday thing. Once I hit 50, I have a very low tolerance for noise. Very low tolerance for noise. If a baby is crying loudly, I'm thinking to myself, Mom, why don't you take the baby out? Especially if I'm in a store. Mom, take the baby outside the store, console that baby. No, sometimes the parent wants to keep the crying baby in the store. People on speakerphone and public spaces. Music playing loudly on public transportation. I love my AirPods, and I keep my AirPods in my purse. So once I get on the train in the morning as I go into work, bam, I pop those AirPods in my ear so I don't have to hear the nonsense. Even when I go to the grocery store, I have my AirPods in my ear to drown out the noises of just people and things like that. When I'm in the office working, I am wearing my AirPods all day long, listening to my favorite true crime podcast or music. I don't feel sexy anymore since being in this menopausal state. I know it's the mood swings. I know that the mood swings are a part of that menopause. All I know is I don't like how this feels. I don't. My sister would call from time to time and tell me of her moody, yucky days that she would have like this. And, you would try to talk to that person and give them that positive feedback and that positive outlook. But now I'm here. And of course, I had to talk to her about it. And she said she understood completely. Specifically, the hormonal weight gain and not being able to fit anything in my closet. So this is roughly day 3 of me feeling like crap. Me feeling ugly. Now, I did cry to help wash away the mood, but at the same time, I still feel ugly. I do. Looking in the mirror at myself and all honesty, not liking what I see. I picked up these pounds and these lbs. Can't call them COVID calories anymore because COVID's been over. And not being able to zipping up a pair of pants or zipping up what was my favorite skirt. Looking at my skin and the texture and the state that it's in, where once upon a time my skin was so smooth and now these pores are haunting me and making me feel a certain way. But I know that I'm going to get out of this funk. You ever hit that 2 p.m., 3 p.m. slump when you're in the office and you need something that's going to give you a boost to push you to the end of the workday? You don't want to get a soda and you don't want to get chocolate. Well, for me, I reached for NeuroGum. NeuroGum has 100 milligrams of natural caffeine and brain-supporting B vitamins for maximum energy and focus. You can find the link to purchase in the show's bio. So thus far, to help me through this moodiness, this feeling of feeling ugly, I definitely journaled. journaling my feelings, writing how I felt, and really thinking about how I know I will not be in this funk for a long time. So what I did yesterday was I went into my closet and I started digging through my clothes to find things that fit, creating creating looks, if you will, and just chucking size 9s. I found some things that were size 4, size 6, chucking those things, putting them in a bag to donate. Once upon a time, I enjoyed going to the mall. But now when I go to the mall, everything looks the same. So I don't want to look like anybody else. There's a store in New York City called Century 21. It is absolutely my favorite clothing store because they have some very unique pieces, some wonderful finds, great brands, great pricing. I hate that there's only one in New York City. There used to be several of them, but now there's only one in New York City. And every time I go to New York, I always make it my business to go to Century 21. So what I decided to do was I decided to subscribe to Stitch Fix. Stitch Fix allows you to just upload your profile, your size, the type of clothing that you like to wear, and they match you with a stylist, and that stylist picks out different pieces for you, puts them together, and sends that fit to you in the mail. You pull out, try on. If you like it, you can keep everything, purchase everything. Or if you don't like it, you just send it back, or keep the pieces that you do like and just pay for them outright. So the last time I went to the doctor's, I was 179 pounds. I weighed myself recently. I'm down to 172 pounds. Now, I think the reason why my weight might be a little bit lower is because during the summer, I don't eat as much. I'm normally a salad, fruit, veggie girl. I don't do too many fatty foods. And then, in all honesty, it's too hot to cook. So I don't do too much cooking. And if I do cook, I do it in the air fryer. She did tell me my last visit that I needed to move a little more. 30 minutes of dancing, just moving my hips, and Zumba, whichever one I choose. And I have a bike that's been sitting here looking at me for the past couple years that I definitely needed to take out. But also going for those brisk walks in my neighborhood, going for those brisk walks at my job, but getting my body moving. I will continue my skincare regimen because, like I said, I take my skincare very seriously. That won't change. Doing my day cleanser, my night cleanser, just finding something that's going to help minimize these pores. Now, I do use a good essence, and I do use niacinamide to help with that shrinking of those pores. I am definitely going to be changing my makeup routine because as we age, less really is more. And going back, you basically using the least amount of makeup products on my face to give me that skin-like natural finish. As I've gone through this period of feeling ugly, I'm glad that I was able to recognize my feelings. I'm glad I didn't suppress them, try to push them down, and try to roll over them or wash over them. I recognized what I was feeling. And as I said, I did cry a bit. And I do welcome the moodiness, the feeling that comes with it, because I know that it's not going to last long at all. Because at the end of the day, the mood is temporary. And in the end, I will be okay. So whenever you find yourself in a funk like I am, what steps do you take to get yourself out of that funk? What steps do you do to help renew you, re-energize you? What do you do to help get you out of that headspace? So before I end today's episode, I want to read an excerpt from the book Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie. And this is titled, Sometimes the Road Gets Rough. Don't be dismayed when you come to a pothole, a detour, a stretch of rough and rocky road. Don't be surprised. Slow down a little bit. Be patient. It's not the whole journey. It's not the way it'll always be, but it's part of your journey too, part of your journey to your heart and soul. Even when we're living with joy and freedom, we continue to learn, grow, feel, experience, and the road can still get rough. Happiness doesn't mean feeling gleeful all the time. Happiness doesn't mean the road we're traveling is always smooth. Happiness means feeling all we need to feel and accepting each part of the journey, even the changes of course and direction. Feel all your feelings. Feel your fear and frustration about slowing down, then settle in for the ride. You may not be going as fast as you'd like, but the journey hasn't stopped. You're not doing anything wrong. You are going slower, but you're still moving forward. I thank you for listening to today's podcast. Please continue to email me with your feedback. I ask that you follow, like this podcast, review this podcast, and I will see you all next time.